Stop this. Everything back up. And hello. And I better roll this back up on Discord real quick. So let's keep rolling. Alright, now we can stop the music. Now we can get into it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mesa Marin Speedway in Bakersfield, California for the running of the Kiklos 200. Let's get you your starting lineup. On pole, the number 9 of Brian McDonough, the driver who's not been having a good season, and he's starting to turn it around. And someone who got a top 5, I believe, actually, I don't remember where Jake Galloway finished, but he's up front. His brother was the one who won at Vegas. In third is Aiden Burkhart, someone who's looked strong. He had a bad run at Orlando after his pull, but had a good follow-up at Las Vegas. Nathan Ormond, who is, I believe, dead last in points. He's starting good. He's starting in 4th. In 5th is the 43 of Jacob Edson. To his outside is Diego Yepez. Sebastian Kukulon, one of the guys who looked strong at Las Vegas, led the most laps, I believe. He's 7th. Outside to him, Alexander Rowe. Luke Rainey and the 47 Mitchell Collins, Mac Johnson, Colton Yo, Jonathan Martin, Gerard Lasseter, Larry Hay, Zachary DeLello, who's trying to turn it around this season, Ryan Butcher, Dale Lightning, Eli Bright, TJ Smith, who I believe may be the points leader. He won at Orlando, and I believe he had a good run at Vegas, so he's going to be coming from the back. Nathan Ormond, Mark O'Hara, Landon Lyons, Sam Picard, Steven Taylor, and your Las Vegas winner starting last today, Oliver Galloway. So let's unpause this. We have 75 laps of racing around this half-mile oval. And I have no clue how the camera angles are here, but hopefully they are decent. So Toyota and Chevy, your front row, as we come down for 75 laps of racing. It's the Kiklos 200 from Mesa Marin. So you see, off to a good start is Brian McDonough. He gets the jump. Aiden Burkhart and Diego Yepez has gone from 6th to 3rd, so looks like he was able to get to the inside early on and drive it up the field. This high bank short track, the inside line is the place you want to be, but got some guys running a little higher line here, such as Luke Rainey and Alexander Rowe. They're actually 3 wide in the back between Eli Bright and Zachary DeLello. Hopefully they're able to keep it clean. And nope, they're not. Eli Bright goes around and he's up into the wall. First caution. Zachary DeLello as well. He got a piece of the wall. So we have a yellow early on. Let's take a look at a replay. Ooh, they're stacking up. Look out. I have it on 1 times wear, and I think I've tested the day version. I've not tested the night, but hopefully this version of the track isn't too bad, and hopefully it's not a wreck fest. Anyways, let's get an onboard look from Eli. Coming off turn 2, Oliver Galloway squeezes up, and they get turned into the wall, and DeLello was taking the 53 wide, and the 50 kind of just got the worst of it as he got into the side of the 64, so not a good day start for these guys. Get you back to the green. And here on lap number 8, it's getting set for the restart. Pace car pulls down the pit road here in Bakersfield, California. Brian McDonough, Aiden Berghardt, Diego Yepes, Jacob Edson, and Sebastian Kukulon are your top 5. Eli Bright is able to stay on the lead lap. His damage is not too bad, and we will be back to green flag racing. So, again, pulling away is that 9 of Brian McDonough, 7 of Aiden Berghardt, trying to hold off another Toyota of Diego Yepes. I don't know if he'll be able to have anything for him, but the field's starting to get strung out now. A little bit side by side, not too far back. That's Nathan Ormond in the 0, working on getting around the 43, and it looks like he will. Edson now stuck on the high side. Mac Johnson trying to dive underneath the 43. That was a risky move all the way into the corner, but the car planted. And Mac Johnson now into 3 and 4 is going to swoop right underneath the Hayward Pools Intex Chevy Camaro. Another Camaro, though, right to his inside now. That's Luke Rainey for Back Row Motorsports. This team is owned by Austin Delgado of the NASCAR Excel Energy Cup Series, so car's well sponsored. Got brands like Albertsons, Newegg, Dr. Pepper, Corsair, and Flex Seal, all on that 26. So up at the front, Brian McDonough still trying to put the gap on. He's got about a half-second lead so far. They come around on lap number 14 here. We're going to be clicking these laps off tonight, and hopefully see some good passing up front, but they're starting to get strung out now. Down the field, Mac Johnson trying to chase down the 0 of Ormond. Ormond not having the season he wants. Johnson has had some strong runs, so hopefully he'll be able to do something as he gets underneath them. 3 and 4, little close to that quarter panel there, but into 1 and 2. He's going to have the inside. Ormond still is far enough ahead where he can't get under him, but into 3, Johnson's going to plant his Mazda right on the white line and past the 0. And Ormond looks like he's going to lose a couple spots now as he's on the outside. And he's trying to fight. This track is similar to Martinsville, is where the inside is the only line you want. But Luke Rainey, the 26, able to dive it underneath the 0 this time by. And Jake Galloway has fallen. He started in 2nd. He's all the way down to 8th in that. Nick Bergwald Racing 39. Again, owned by another Excel Energy Cup Series driver, Nick Bergwald. Now, Nathan Ormond, he obviously has the Team Vegas connection. Will we see Team Vegas expand to a second car next year for the Excel Energy Cup Series? They've been rumored about it and possibly shutting down their Qualcomm Series operation to field 2 Excel Energy Cup Series cars full time. But it'll be interesting to see what they do, and if they bring either Ormond or O'Hara up, keep them within the team, and give them a top series ride. But up at front, Brian McDonough is absolutely classing the field tonight. He's pulling away in his Corona number 9, and he's got now up to an almost 1 second lead over Aiden Berghardt, who's getting serious pressure now from Diego Yepes. This is the number 7 of Aiden Berghardt. That's Silgan Containers Toyota, and he's being chased down by the JJ Motorsports 25 of Diego Yepes. Yepes has got as the visor cam tonight. Let's get you some onboard looks. I'm not sure how much people are in chat tonight, but you guys are running pretty slow. Let it all. Hopefully you guys are able to enjoy the race. But looks like Yepes is starting to fall back to 7. Berghardt beginning to throw up a little gap on that 25, and Maybe the 94 of Kuklan will be able to catch him. Anyways, get you another look, and a man on a mission is Mac Johnson. He's closed up to his teammate Sebastian Kuklan in the 94. Now you might see some inter-team battling as 92 inches ever closer. Mazdas are running good tonight. They have first, fourth, and fifth, and looks like that's all for the top 10. Toyota second, third, and that's it. And looks like Chevrolets are bringing up the rear with 7th, 8th, wait, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, and then a Ford in 10th. The only other manufacturer not represented in the top half is Dodge, who is actually running in 11th. Fastest lap will go to Sam Picard. So Brian McDonough, who has been leading today and starting to pull away, does he have a 1 second gap yet? Not quite, but Picard has the fastest lap. His teammate has the second quickest, so looks like the front runners and Picard are your quickest cars tonight. Mac Johnson continues to work on that number 94 as Donna pulls away action, but fell way off at the end. He got a poor run, and don't really remember Las Vegas, but he's showing his talent off tonight. Aiden Burke, oh my goodness, pace car action getting into this, but Aiden Burkhart now corners it into 3. He's having an alright night. He obviously had some success at Orlando. He won the pole, really fell off at the end, and now he's able to run up at the front yet again. He had a top 5 at Vegas, I'm pretty sure, and yeah, showing off this stuff. More power to the younger brother of a top 5 contender in the Bell Energy Cup Series, Brady Burkhart. A pace car yet again, but Diego Yepes in 3rd, starting to close the gap again on the 7. Driving for JJ Motorsports, one of the Excel Energy Cup Series teams, but the South American driver in the Milkbone Toyota is having a good run tonight, something we really haven't seen much of him do in the past 2 races. In 4th is Sebastian Kuklan, who arguably led the most laps at Las Vegas, I'm not sure, but he was up at the front. He's having a pretty good run here in the Crown Cork and Seal Mazda. Here he says he does like these California tracks, although we don't go to many on the calendar. In 5th is Kuklan's teammate Mac Johnson, who started around 10th. He's marched his way through up into the top 5, and he's trying to work on his teammate, but he said he'll just fall back on the radio. He says there's a lot of this race to go. There's a lot of cautions possibly. We just hit halfway now, and don't know what could happen in this next half. So he's figured he's trying to play it safe and maybe even try to secure a 1-2 top 5 finish for that team. In 6th is Jake Galloway, who started 2nd, fell off a little bit, but he is driving for Nick Bergwald's team, and obviously some Urban Stewart affiliation present on that car with sponsors Sirius XM, Taco John's Nationwide, and Exalta all over that car. Lexmark's Printers is the primary sponsor, and they're heavily associated with that car. And yeah, Jake is trying to have a strong run and maybe end up beating his brother in points, who his brother not having a good night. But in 7th is Luke Rainey, someone we really haven't talked about much this season, and Austin Delgado's team, like we mentioned earlier, he's having an alright night in 7th. Newegg, that company is based out of California, so they've got some associates at the track trying to show off for a good run. And another, basically you could say, local race for Team Vegas is this one, Bakersfield, California on the West Coast, just like Las Vegas was last weekend. But Nathan Orman is not having the season he wants. No one wants to be last in points, but unfortunately that's what he is currently. So Orman having the rebound race and may be able to improve his point standings. And looks like Alexander Rowe manning the 9th place position, the Tama Drums 84. This team is owned by the drummer of the band Macedon, Brian Taylor, so cool, that's drumsticks he uses. And Rowe is having a nice midfield run and showing off his stuff as the fastest Ford in the field. In 10th, has just cracked the top 10, is Mitchell Collins, one of the 2 Rudd Racing cars. I haven't talked much about Collins this season, but trying to have a good top 10 run tonight. In 11th, Jacob Edson, that Hayward Pools 43 for Bradley Autosport. Let me get a drink of water real quick, sorry. But Hayward Pools, you don't want to drink pool water, I'd say, but Hayward Pools has definitely shown their support to Edson and Bradley, showing their stuff off on the car, and Edson is trying to make something happen here tonight. He had a 5th place starting spot, but he is looking like the biggest loser. He's all the way dropped out of the top 10 now. In 12th, Ryan Butcher, the Mountaineer Casino 16, that identifiable paint scheme, that dark green shaded Toyota. Definitely not hard to spot. Team owner, I believe, is Patrick Smith, but that wouldn't make sense because Smith drives a Mazda in Cup, so I'll figure out what's going on with that. But Smith's car owner in Cup, Walker Racing, owns the car that is running 13th, and that would be, actually, this car's not running 13th, this car's running 25th. Jonathan Martin must have been down pit road at some point in this race because he is not up in this main field, so Jonathan Martin is having a poor night for Walker Racing, so he's gonna drop back. Ooh, not that, not the pace car. Don't change cameras on me. Sorry about that. Anyways, Sam Picard is running 13th. He is the fastest car in the field still. Brian McDonough, his teammate, looks like he is still out front. McDonough's open up to a 1.2 second lead on the field, something which is a huge margin here at the short track, but Picard having a poor season, one of the strong viewers, but is really trying to work his stuff out tonight. And while his teammate's running good, he's having a good run compared to what he's done the last 2 races. Butcher, I see you guys in chat. I don't believe we're going to have pit stops because it's a short track and it's 1 times wear. And I really didn't think about much before making the video. And in 14th is Gerard Lasseter, that 29 Joint Commission Toyota. This was one of the 3 cars in the field painted by Brandon Morris, NASCAR Not 55. Gotta thank him for that. And another car painted and owned by that man, Tib Foster. It's actually owned by his MLB character, a series that he stopped doing because I was pretty much the only one that watched. But the 83 Shea Hellickson Motorsports car, the AutoZone entry, is piloted by Larry Hagan. Hagan has been a mid-pack driver. I believe he is 15th in points, and he's running 15th again today, so not much to talk about with him. And looking at the back half of the field, we have Mark O'Hara. He's had a good run. He had a top 10 at least, maybe even a top 5 at Vegas. And Dale Lightning, he was 2nd at Orlando. He had a great car there. I believe he's still running strong in points, but Lightning gonna fall in points today. And actually able to work through, even in a damaged car, is Eli Bright. He's made his way up to 18th, so he passed on the restart. And luckily, he's able to work his way up through the field, maybe in pass a couple cars before this race is over. A little bit farther back in the field now is TJ Smith, the other Rudd Racing entry. This is your points leader. Looks like the short tracks aren't suiting him well. He had a strong run at Las Vegas and 1 at Orlando, so the big tracks are his stuff, but the short tracks, the majority of the schedule, might not be his thing, and that could cost him the championship here at Terracon Twisted T Dodge. And Jones Racing Inc. boys are not having a good night. Colton Yo started toward the back, and he's still running toward the back, his Dietz and Watson Mustang, but not the night he wants to have. And in 21st is Landon Lyons. So Landon is having another poor run. I believe he had a top 10 at either Orlando or Las Vegas, maybe both, I'm not sure, but he's worked his way up at the front and has been talked about. Now he's only been able to talk about in the lap by lap, or I should say through the field actually now, as Oliver Galloway in the 21 is working in position 22 for Las Vegas winner and younger brother of Jake Galloway, not having the night he needs after being involved in that early incident. The third car involved in the early incident today was the Ford of Zachary DeLello. He's having just an awful season. I honestly feel bad for him, but He's trying just to rebound, and I'm not sure if he'll be able to do it. And Steven Taylor, Dixon Racing Car, owned by Skylar Dixon, another Cup Series driver. Not having the run he wants tonight. He is mired in the back, last car in the lead lap, so this DeVilbiss 4, the Mustangs are really not having a good night in the Kiklos 200, but coming around to 11 to go, and Brian McDonough has absolutely pulled away from Aiden Burkhart and Diego Yepez. That's not much of a battle in and of itself. Bucalan and Johnson have spread out. Galloway, Rainey looks like the top part of the field is spread out. Mitchell Collins might have something for Nathan Ormond here. We'll watch that battle, as I'll take a quick break for commentary and come back for the last couple laps. And there you see it, the 47 passes the 0 for 9th place, but I don't think Jacob Edson will close, and it looks like now, as I look up the order, the top 10 is pretty much set in stone. I have to come up with a guy, maybe if there's someone here in the chat that is not signed up, if you want to be the pace car driver for Vault Series, be my guest. Little something I can mention in the broadcast if I think about it. Basically a meaningless role, but whatever, if you want, just let me know. Stretching for commentary here. This race got spread out after that early caution, and not much to talk about except Brian McDonough having the turnaround race. He had that poor run in Orlando. Las Vegas, he had a race, but having the turnaround, he's absolutely classed the field, and it looks like Aiden Burkhart's actually able to close up a little bit on that 9, but he's too far back. He's not going to have anything, but something nice about this little short track is that because of its high banks, it actually has installed safer barriers here. Mesa Marin using their budget well, and he had a nice hard crash. I would be a little bit more protected. Safer barriers are not mandatory at all tracks, but highly encouraged. I believe a couple tracks that don't are some of them in the Cup Series, actually, like I know one of them is going to be Ontario, the 2.5 mile oval, because I'm not sure if I'm going to use the 2018 version that the NROL owner, I should say, Carter Friesen made, or not. I know the original Wild Customs and Car version has none, because it's based off of 1970. Anyways, 2 to go with Brian McDonough. Let's go on board until the flag. And he's had some poor luck first 2 races, but he's going to absolutely class the field, leading flag to flag in the Kiklos 200, and winning at Mesa Marin is Brian McDonough. So Brian McDonough will take the hard turn down pit road. We'll get you a quick flyby, see where you or your favorite driver finished, as the field comes down to take their stalls. Jacob Edson's trying to stay out another lap, thinking that he still has something in the bag, but in a case of Mark Martin there, buddy. But Brian McDonough, who showed up to the stream, thankfully got to see his driver win from the pole, a nice strong run, and let's take a look at the results. So Brian McDonough leads with an average speed of 97.750 miles an hour. That's a nice round number. Don't mind it. But Aiden Burkhart finished the second. Diego Yepez third. Sebastian Kukulon, Mac Johnson in fifth. The rest of your order is there. And yes, I did mention it earlier. Eli Bright was able to pass a couple guys, Marco Hart and TJ Smith. So Eli Bright, even with the damaged car, had a good run today. But let me just export these. goes. Exports aren't the best, but save the replay. I could type. And let's get you your points really quickly. But first, good old NR 2003 victory screen. Absolute jam. Anyways, back to desktop cam and throw on up to score 4. Process, Qualcomm, race number 3. Right, just say Bristol because that's a half mile. Process. Yeah, race information if you just wanted to see that. 89 degrees here. I'd say that's pretty unseasonably warm for what would be March, but heat wave. I should make my own weather. Have it run negative 200 degrees. Okay, so let's get the Pulse series. Marin leads 75 laps. You can see the finer intervals and stuff. Earnings, qualify. Not much to see. I don't have that much put in, but generate those files. Take a look at the standings. So, taking the points lead is Diego Yepes. TJ Smith only falls down to second, but tying for second are the TJ Smith and Aiden Burkhart, both with 57 points. Oliver Galloway falls to fourth. Mac Johnson goes up to third, and your biggest gainer out of all this is going to be Brian McDonough. Some notables falling: Eli Bright and Jonathan Martin. They go down 8 and 9 respectively, but there are your points. Nathan Ormond was able, I guess Ormond was not last in points. DeLello was actually last in points, and DeLello unfortunately is going to hold even last in points, so he is having the season no one wants to have, but Ormond is able to get up to 18th, looks like. So you for watching. I mean, might as well turn the stream off now. I mean, tomorrow I'm not going to stream. I'm gonna finish up paints I have to do, but I'm not going to stream that because last time I wanted to do his painting stream, the internet died twice. So thank you all for coming out, but I will see you next time for the Mesa Marin Excel Energy Cup Series race at Homestead, the Shimano 500, or unless I have something dumb planned before then. So anyways, see you then. Take care, and thanks for watching. And just because I'm going to be like that, I'm going to wait till it hits exactly 30 minutes long for the stream. Alright, see you guys.